Oh, Nintendo, what are we going to do with you? Hi, everybody. This is ZeroEchoZenith coming to you live at time of recording. And I'm going to talk about patents in this news segment, specifically the patents of Pokemon that have been recently denied in Japan and have now been reopened in examination in the US. U.S. Patent Office boss orders re-examination of Nintendo's controversial Summon Character and Let It Fight Pokemon patent, which IP expert claims further undermines credibility of its case against Palworld. Public outrage to blame. So, Pocketpair is the company that made Palworld, and it's basically Pokemon with firearms and more interactivity with the world, I guess. And Nintendo didn't like it, that it was getting so popular and sold a lot, and so they slammed it with a patent. They're like, hey, you can't capture things in spherical objects anymore, and several other patents that are really specific to certain battle mechanics of like throwing a summoned creature and having it battle in an automatic sense or whatever, kind of infringing on other mechanics in games that deal with summoning creatures to do your bidding. Let's read, shall we? By the way, this is off of IGN. The director of the United States Patent and Trademark Office has ordered a re-examination of Nintendo's controversial Summon Character and Let It Fight Pokemon patent after it was heavily criticized by IP lawyers. In September, IP lawyers criticized the US patent system and the USPTO. I believe that is the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Yeah, United States Patent and Trademark Office. That's what that acronym is. After Nintendo was awarded a Pokemon patent that revolves around summoning a character and letting it fight. I'll talk more about my opinion on this, but goodbye pet classes in games. That's no more hunters, druids, rangers, necromancers, even mages and wizards. Bye. You can't be depicted in games anymore because Nintendo might come after you, or Game Freak, whatever. Games Fray reported that patent number, that's a big number, dubbed the 397 patent, was granted by the USPTO without any objection to Nintendo, which is embroiled in ongoing litigation with Pocketpair's Palworld. Palworld is being sued by Nintendo right now. They're still in the middle of a massive lawsuit, but right now things are looking up for Pocketpair, because in Japan, the patent, one of the patents at least, was denied. We'll read about that in a second. While the patent sums up how Pokemon games work in that you summon Pokemon to battle other Pokemon in the hopes of adding them to your collection, there are countless other games that use similar mechanics, such as, but not limited to, Persona, Digimon, and even Elden Ring, Path of Exile, Diablo, even World of Warcraft, because of Retail WoW's pet battling, which is a thing. They actually have like a faux Pokemon mechanic that you can use pets to battle other pets. There's plenty of these games, depending on how the patent is interpreted. At the time, IP expert Florian Mueller took to social media to say Nintendo should never have received a Summon Character and Let It Fight patent in the first place. True, I don't know why they did. It was like automatic, I guess. While video game patent lawyer Kirk Sigmund told PC Gamer these claims were in no way allowable. Now, Games Fray has reported that Donald Trump nominee John A. Squires, who only became director of the USPTO in September, has personally ordered a re-examination after he determined that substantial new questions of patentability have arisen to certain claims made by the patent. Here's Squires' description of the claims in question. So this is what the patent entails. I actually looked at the patent a second ago, and yeah. This is really weird because a lot of games they could just have these mechanics naturally. The 397 patent issued with claims drawn to controlling the movement of a player character in a field of a virtual space. Okay, causing a sub-character to appear in the field, controlling a battle in a manual mode when an enemy character is present in the location the sub-character has appeared. Basically making a sub-character fight another sub-character. And when an enemy character is not present in the location the sub-character has appeared, automatically moving the sub-character, so moving your Pokemon, and controlling a battle in an automatic mode when an enemy character is placed at a designated location. So I think from what I remember, this also pertaining to is like you're throwing your Pokemon, your ball, your Pokeball at a Pokemon to summon your Pokemon to do battle against that Pokemon, like a wild Pokemon that you want to capture. Or maybe even a trainer battle, I don't know. In his order, Squires pointed to 2 older US patent applications, one filed by Konami in 2002, the other by Nintendo itself in 2019, as prior art references. Both Squires said would be important in deciding whether the claims are patentable, and each raises a substantial new question of patentability. Mueller, writing for Games Fray, said Squires' order was down to the public outrage at the award of the patent and concerns about the reputation of the U.S. patent system as a whole. While this reexamination isn't a revocation order, Mueller insisted it is now highly likely that the USPTO will revoke Nintendo's 397 patent. Nintendo has 2 months to respond. So this is in the US. The best Pokemon spin-off games. Wait, what? Oh, that's not related. What does this mean for Nintendo and the Pokemon Company's high-profile legal battle with Pocketpair over Palworld? Well, Mueller said it further undermines the credibility of Nintendo's patent assertions against Pocketpair's game. So, I believe this patent was denied in Japan, and one of the... This is off of Games Fray. Japan Patent Office rejects Nintendo application relevant to Palworld dispute, cites games like Ark Survival Evolved, as prior art after third-party submission. This pretty much explain, or this pretty much goes over what I just read, but I want to point out, what was it? One of the main reasons why this patent was denied, because the Patent Office, after a third-party submission of prior art, determined that the claimed technique lacked an inventive step. The patent is too generalized. It can't really go through because it's not novel enough. This is the latest legal blow for Nintendo in its battle against Palworld. Last month, one of Nintendo's patents related to its monster capture patents filed last year was rejected by the Japan Patent Office, JPO, for lacking originality. Yep, this is literally what I just said. The office's reasoning for the rejection made reference to older games with similar mechanics that were released even before 2021, including Ark, released in 2015, Monster Hunter 4 in 2013. I didn't know you could do that. I mean, there's Monster Hunter Stories that is basically Pokemon, which is a spin-off of the Monster Hunter games, and Japanese browser game Kantai Collection, also 2013. Ironically, Pocketpair's Craftopia 2020 and Niantic's Pokemon Go 2016 were among other examples of games that were used to argue that the patent lacks originality. Yes, summonable creatures that shouldn't be patented. There's so many examples of summonable creatures, the ones that I just gave earlier, of classes in RPGs that can summon creatures and have them do their bidding in an automatic or a controlled manual sense. The case involves 3 main patents granted by the JPO, 2 related to monster capture and release, and 1 relating to writing characters. Oh yeah, also writing creatures that you capture. Yeah, sure, let's just ruin games that want you to be able to capture a horse to ride it. So, like in Legend of Zelda or Red Dead Redemption, like Breath of the Wild or something, you can't capture a horse anymore to ride it. Or maybe it's supposed to be you can't summon a horse to ride it, or summon a creature to ride it anymore. I don't know. All 3 patents were filed in 2024 after Palworld came out. Yeah, the patents just recently came out last year. However, they were actually derived from earlier Nintendo patents dating from 2021. In other words, it seems that once Palworld came on the scene, Nintendo filed divisional patents that were geared to fight specifically against Palworld's alleged infringement of the original patents. Probably because they were making too much money, because it was like, oh my gosh, Palworld, it's Pokemon with guns! Whoa, that's so novel, that's so fun. Wow, why can't Nintendo do something cool and innovative like this? Maybe not put guns in Pokemon, but just do more with their world. Since then, Pocketpair has made changes to Palworld's disputed mechanics. Yes, the November 2024 patch removed the ability to summon pals by throwing Pokeball-like pal spheres. Now pals just materialize next to you when summoned. Yep, they did get rid of that mechanic. In May this year, another Palworld update changed how you can glide in the game. Instead of directly grabbing onto glider pals, they just simply use pal-buffed glider equipment. But a lot of games have gliders, but maybe they don't want you to use your summoned monsters to glide themselves, I guess. The case has rumbled on, with Nintendo even rewriting a mount-related patent mid-lawsuit. They rewrote a patent in the middle of the lawsuit? Okay. And arguing that mods should not count as prior art. So what happens next? Here we go. Mueller said there may not be any further developments this calendar year relating to Nintendo's lawsuit against Pocketpair or patents that are related to it, but decisions are expected next year. All eyes will be on presiding judge Motoyuki Nakashima, who leads the patent division of the Tokyo District Court. It is ever more likely that Nintendo will lose, Mueller said. Oh my gosh. At the Game Developers Conference, GDC, in March, IGN sat down for an extended conversation with John Buckley, Communications Director and Publishing Manager for Palworld developer Pocketpair. We spoke following blah, blah, blah. At the Community Management Summit, Palworld roller coaster, surviving the drop, Buckley went into candid detail about the number of Palworld struggles, especially the accusations of it using generative AI, which they have since debunked pretty soundly, and stealing Pokemon's models for its own pals, a claim that the person who originally made it has since retracted. Oh, okay, so they retracted that statement. Now, he even commented a bit on Nintendo's patent infringement lawsuit against the studio, saying it came as a shock to the studio and was something that no one even considered. Oh, geez. Here's my take on this. Stop patenting game mechanics. All of them. If you're only going to... Okay, listen, if you're going to go into an extreme niche... Like, it's extremely novel, it's niche, it's really only meant for this one IP because it just can't be done anywhere else. Maybe I can see some kind of patent or copyright about it, sort of, but you should still be able to let people take parts of it and transform it in a way that can be depicted differently, so that other people can see a spin on a formula of a familiar game mechanic. This is really stupid, actually. This stifles creativity. This doesn't let companies thrive and flourish. This doesn't really do anything and only monopolizes it monopolizes game mechanics and damages the views that people have on IPs. So the Nemesis system from Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War, this was made by Monolith Productions. Yeah, you would have orc captains living in the world, and they would be traveling around the open world that you are in. They would fight, they would promote, they would kill other orc captains in a vie for control and power, and you could either kill them and like remove them from the game board, or you could take them over, like you could possess them and then have them fight for you and work for you. And even in Shadow of War, there was this whole mechanic where you could take them and level them up as the game progresses, and you could have them do pit fighting with other orcs, and you could make like the strongest orc commander you could possibly make. And it was very fascinating and really cool, and they patented the game mechanic. In fact, I think they even talk about it here. Let me just look for it. Nemesis. The game introduces the Nemesis system, which allows the artificial intelligence of non-playable characters to remember their prior interactions with Talion, the main character, and react accordingly in subsequent encounters. Yes, that's what made the Nemesis system so cool, is that the orcs would remember what you did to them or what they did to you, whether if you fled from battle or if they killed you and they're like, Gravewalker, you're back! I need to finish my job and kill you again, blah, blah, blah. And it was just patented. No other game company has ever made something close to the Nemesis system. It was an ingenious game model, and it's gone. It's fridged. I'm going to end on a meme. This is from this guy. Run this by us again. You want to patent summoning and writing creatures? Yeah. Here's where we're at right now. Please stop patenting game mechanics in games, Nintendo and other game companies. Let creativity flourish from other companies so that way they can promote healthy competition in the free market and allow your indie developer to be like, I really wanted to make a creature summoning game so that way I could try and provide a different spin on it. There's farming in this game. You can be a farmer. I think you can already farm in Palworld, but you know what I mean. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you agree or disagree with patenting game mechanics and whether or not patents should be allowed for extremely niche properties and IPs. For me, I'm thinking maybe, but not really. I don't think it should. I don't think jumping in a game should be patented. I don't know, guys. Anyways, bye everybody. This is ZeroEchoZenith signing off. Take care. I'll see you next time.